Do you like that when David Stern had his view on the league and it was so corporate, it was suits, it was ties.
Right.
Adam Silver's taken probably the opposite approach. He's letting our league be more fluent with style. For the first time, I've seen a real connect with fashion, sports, and music, and then coming back to fashion. We have a real...
No, it's legit.
Is that the future of this league, you think?
Oh.
We're not going back to corporate.
No,
I don't
think so. I always say it's funny. I even make fun of the other reporters, journalists I work with when they're wearing the suits. I'm like, you don't work at a bank, dude. Come on. It's a sport. It should be fun. I think David Stern and that era of the NBA office did what they felt at the time was the way to get this league where it needed to be to get on television.
Facts.
And
to sell it to other countries.
And all of that stuff. And again, this was before my era, but there was a time where everything would be on tape delay, right? Or that the NBA finals wouldn't be on TV.
Facts.
We forget where
Yesteryear
that was you needed
that was 80.
You needed to put the suit and the tie and whatever to get to sell to the network exec who didn't want to they weren't ready for all of that stuff. So I have respect for why David Stern did the things he did, for where he moved the league where it was that enabled now things to be the way they are, but I like the way they are. The way that they are now is pretty, it feels real, feels authentic.
And I feel like guys can actually express themselves fully.
Yeah.
You don't want to put too much, but I love where we are as a league. In saying that, how far, have you been watching with the emergence of how every team seems to have an assistant coach that's a female?
Yeah,
I read the story on Zion. He said Witherspoon helped who's probably Shout to Witherspoon, one of the dopest people I've ever met.
I saw her 2 or 3 weeks ago and we were talking.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all with this.
She should be a head coach. I said that all.
This is my next thing.
Right?
How far are we from a head coach, a female head coach in our league?
It's so hard to say because it's just going to take one, and then it's going to be considered sort of more equal time. But it's gonna be hard.
There's female presidents of other countries now,
but we don't have one.
Right, but I'm saying that wave is coming. And then I say this in regards to all this: how far are we from having a female be the head of a minority group or ownership group going into these franchises?
I think we're closer to that than we might even be to being a coach. Here's why. I think that risk, hiring a coach is one of the most risky things that an owner or a GM can do, right? It is you are handing billions of dollars of assets to one person. There is the public scrutiny aspect, there's the player respect aspect, there's all the stuff in a season that you can't even foresee. Steve Nash goes and coaches the Brooklyn Nets, and when they made that hire, man, they thought, we have a Hall of Famer, Steve Nash. You're not going to find like someone with at least credentials-wise, right?
Who's a point guard.
Right? Point guard, knew what he was doing, obviously didn't have the coaching experience. We could get back into the controversy over that and him not paying his dues in that way. But in terms of being a stellar coach and in terms of like knowing what he had to do and the players respecting him, it was all there. Didn't work at all, right? Didn't work at all.
There
are so many risks
that
come into when you hire a coach that to then put the extra layer of this person looks different, is the first, is going to have to deal with all of the constant questions about being the first. I think it is a huge, huge step, and I don't know when it's going to come, and I don't know if it's soon. I really don't. I'd like to think it's soon. I thought with the Pelicans and Teaspoon, frankly, it was a great opportunity. Although I love Willie, I love like what they've done there. So it's not like I think it didn't work out. It worked out great. But I do think that if she wasn't in line to take that job, if that risk didn't happen, it's still going to be a little. I think it will still be a little bit, but it will happen, and I can't wait for it to happen.
5 years?
I just think, I think in the next 5 years. I think so.
Under 5 years?
We'll see.
You shocked?
We'll see. I hope so. I'm going to cross every finger because I think once it happens, it'll be okay. It's just that first, it's like everything else. It's that first thing. And then if she fails, we all know why. Everyone will say that she failed. And, we still live in a culture where anything going on with women is just treated very different. And it's not just in sports at all. It's politically, it's everything else. So I just think the hurdle is still there. When you say, there's female presidents of other countries, there are.
It is.
We don't have a female president in this country,
yeah,
and
but
we
the
haven't.
wave is coming. It's coming.
I hope so. I hope
Vice
so.
President. We got a vice president. Hey,
That's true, man.
see what's on the wall, right?
That's right. Anything
Oh,
is possible,
it is,
baby.
it is,
Anything.
it is.
Anything. No, and I hope so. And look, I do think you pointing out, though, that Zion has given Teresa so much credit is really important.
It
and
helps.
that kind of stuff makes a huge difference.
And we need a mentorship program in our league for players who've experienced and can share their experience with other players.